Yeah, whenever. All right. So, hi everyone. So I'm Luca Franceschini, and I'm developer relation engineer at Phylabs, which is core contributor to the Archway protocol. So today I'm gonna speak about Archway. So what is Archway? Well, Archway is positioning itself to be the value capture chain, where basically developers would find most attractive to build their own decentralized applications. And the reason for this is that it has the value capture engine that basically it's a mechanism that allows developers to get rewards proportionally to the usage of their smart contracts. So the more your smart contract grinds transactions, the more rewards you would get. So based on the usage of your smart contract, then developers get their fair cut, basically. So before we get into understanding how does it work, then it's nice to get a step back and kind of realizing that until now there hasn't really been an easy way to monetize smart contracts, right? Because even if you pour blood and sweat and you create a wonderful decentralized application that everybody uses, at the end of the day, most of the value gets captured on the protocol level, on the infrastructure layer. So you can think, for example, popular dApps on Ethereum, like Uniswap or whatever, that even if you have a lot of transactions, then at the end of the day, validators get most of the value. And this is aligned with the FAT protocol thesis that actually suggests that most of the value gets captured from the underlying protocol rather than the application itself. And of course, this is really not nice for developers who put a lot of work into it. And in general, it's also a bit discrepant with what we always seen in Web 2, right? Because most of you, I guess, you came to Prague, you got your Airbnb. At the end of the day, like Airbnb is the app that captures the value, you know? Like it's not the HTTPS protocol or the TCP/IP. So like even in Web 2, like it makes sense that like it's the application itself that captures the value. So that's where Archway fits. So it feels we are kind of in an inflection point because now there are a lot of layer ones. So it's becoming really crucial for developers to understand where to deploy their dApp. And yeah, I'm here telling why Archway is the best choice. So in general, Archway is a different breed of layer one in the sense that, by the way, it uses, of course, the Cosmos SDK, and it's a layer one blockchain. And it's optimized to allow developers to capture the value, basically with its value capture engine. And it's basically relying on its flexible economic model, and that also is secure enough to prevent spam and malicious attacks, basically through the minimum gas price that it's enforced on a gas unit level. So you actually make sure that also like you don't have the network spammed with a lot of transactions that are trying just to get rewards. So there is an economically sound model behind it. So Archway's value proposition is to be a very cozy layer one for developers to deploy their custom applications and just get new revenue streams instead of launching a token even if you don't have the need for it. That at the end of the day, this is what we saw so far, like a lot of folks that maybe created very cool smart contracts that gets used a lot, then they didn't have any way to monetize their work, right? So they needed to either launch a token with dubious utility or maybe get to other round of fundings or whatever predatory monetization strategy. So with Archway, you don't need to do this. You just, get your rewards and that's fine. So let's see how it works. So the value capture engine is divided into three main pillars. So the first one is the gas rebates. So basically, when your smart contract consumes gas, so it's processing transaction and it's doing its execution, so 50% of the gas fees gets burned and 50% goes to the smart contract itself. And then you are able, as a developer, to direct that value into your community, into specific use case, whatever you want. So that's the first pillar, let's say, of the value capture engine. Then there is the inflationary rewards, so you would get, as a developer, 25% of the inflation, while the 75% would get to validators, like normal proof of stake vibe. And then another thing interesting is this customizable layer fee, that is basically smart contract premium. So you are able to set a flat fee on the contract execution, which basically resembles a lot of the traditional licensing model, right? Like you, for example, have a service that's maybe using some logic from another service, and that service is just monetized on a pay-for-use whatever mechanism. So this is cool stuff because it gives you enough flexibility to, depending on your use case, to actually redirect the value, however you want. And you can also set this premium to 0 if you want to, and just get the inflationary rewards and gas rebates. So it's up to the developer. And the way that this works is through 2 different modules that Archway created. So there is the tracking module that tracks all the gas usage that's happening around the network. And basically, it tracks the gas consumption, because this data is then used by the rewards module to basically distribute rewards. So the way that it works is that you, as a developer, like while you are instantiating the contract, you basically set up in the metadata an owner address and a rewards receiver address. And while the owner address can change the contract metadata, then the rewards address just receive rewards. And these are batch 32 addresses, which means that they can be normal addresses, they can be another smart contract, they can be a multisig, you name it. So basically, these are the 2 modules that make the magic happen, and they work together. And that's how we refer to the value capture engine, is these 2 modules closely working together to monitor gas consumptions and distribute rewards. So Archway is, of course, powered by CosmWasm, so you can develop a contract in Rust. You compile it to a WASM binary, and you can use IBC. So the question here is not why should you build on Archway, it's why not, right? Because then if you have IBC enabled, then what's the reason of deploying a contract to another chain while you can deploy it on Archway and get a baked-in economic model for rewards that is like giving you value proportionally on the success of your dApp. And then you're already interconnected with whatever IBC channel you want. So right now we have some of them already. Then after mainnet, there's going to be way more. So here it's a bit, changing the paradigm and getting the developers back into the center, because it's at the end it's developers that create value, because they create applications that they get used by everybody else, and it's good if they can rely on solid economic models and just not launch whatever token or just ask every time for funding just because they can't monetize smart contracts. So that's where Archway fits in the equation. And this, as you can imagine, enables a lot of different economic models and business models, basically because, you can redirect the value wherever you want. So you could, for example, subsidize gas fees, so allowing for a frictionless interaction with Web3 products. You could also reduce the DEX fees, or, for example, bootstrap liquidity mining program in a more efficient way. So you could also incentivize governance participation or anything else. Really, sky is the limit here. You can, if you think that there is a value in holding an NFT for a long time, you can, set your smart contract in, rewards this guy or stuff like this. Because at the end of the day, you as a developer, you set the rewards receiver address, and that can be a smart contract, so you can distribute the rewards however you want. And this is really powerful. So, and in general, there are a lot of folks excited for this, of course, and because what Archway is really striving to do is just to be the way to go for developers to build and deploy CosmWasm applications and making sure that they are solid enough and sustainable in the long term, and just that they don't get, vampired from like the lack of monetization for smart contracts. So this is where Archway fits, and that's the reason of the value capture chain. So Archway is gonna go mainnet in July. So yeah, hold your horses, just almost there. And so this is a perfect time to go in the website, check the docs, and see how to, how this whole mechanism works, how to run a node, and everything else. Like there is a lot of documentation, and there is also a lot of excitement around the upcoming mainnet. So we really expect a lot of folks to deploy dApps and get their value, right? So we're really excited, and yeah, it's really a nice moment. So there is an emerging ecosystem that is rapidly growing. So there are already several dApps that are building on Archway, and also there is a lot of partners and infrastructure providers, services. There is hardcore crew of early supporters and validators and relayers. So there is a lot of support from the Cosmos ecosystem and all around. And in general, when it comes to the dApps, there is a lot of stuff going on, both on DeFi, NFTs, you name it. So currently, there are some dApps already on testnet, but there are way, way, way more that are coming just on mainnet launch. So really, it's just look around what they're doing, because some of them are really creating interesting use cases out of this very unique model that Archway provides. So there is really a lot to look at, and yeah, that's perfect time to do it before mainnet to see what's cooking. So in general, you as a developer would be able to leverage the tooling that Archway provide. Of course, the Archway D, the core daemon, but also the developer CLI, which is thought to be a streamlined way to deploy your smart contracts and also interact with the modules of Archway. So the rewards module, the gas tracking module. So it's, and there is a lot of also work that is getting done in even revamp it, so just to take the full developer experience, make it very smooth. So there is the Arch3.js, which is basically a wrapper of the Cosmos.js, but it gives you also the ability to interact with JavaScript, with the modules that Archway provides. So if you are JavaScript dev, then you can use the Arch3.js to create some dApps on it. And then there is also the Archway Connect. So the Archway Connect is not necessarily just for developers, it's more of for everybody to easily interact with the whole Archway ecosystem. So it's about to be released, and it's a clean, fresh, intuitive UI that allows you to interact with dApps and stake, interact with governance, and all these kind of things. So it's about to be released, so just stay tuned in Discord and see what's up, because there is a lot of things that is getting flushed out. So also, by the way, if you are looking to learn more about Cosmosm and how to develop dApps, then there is also Area 52, which is a wonderful 2 courses regarding Cosmosm development. So that's really, really, really a good way to get into the Cosmos smart contract ecosystem. So yeah, just check it out. And there is a lot of information available, really a lot. So it's start now, maybe, to look into stuff. So yeah, if you go in the website, there is the white paper section, so where you can find not only the white paper, where is, of course, give you an overview of what this is all about, but also you can see the technical paper that goes really into the nitty-gritty on not only how the modules works, but also it gives you in general a sense on how the Cosmos stack works. So even if you are maybe not 100% knowledgeable about the Cosmos SDK and stuff like this, then the technical white paper is a wonderful way to start and look into things. So also there is the economic paper, that's where yeah, that's all where the sophistication happens from an economic level. So there you can see the formulas, you can see all the consideration that has been taken to release this model, and it's quite exciting because this is the first time that a structured fee marketplace comes into the Cosmos ecosystem. So yes, that's cool. And so yeah, there is a lot of things to look at, and everything is available. So just you can go in the website and check what's up. So and then at the end of the day, it's just about start building, right? Because like Archway really wants to put developers in the position of just focusing on building technology, not worrying about how to monetize it, not worrying about revenue streams, not worry about anything else. Just focus on building cool decentralized applications. So that's why Archway is aiming to be the way to go blockchain for creators and builders, and is working on the blossoming of this whole solid smart contract infrastructure. Because at the end of the day, if you are a developer, you can think not only about adding revenue streams to your decentralized application, but also like if you focus on tooling, for example, you can imagine a specific toolkit that gets used by a lot of folks that is going to grind a lot of transactions, and that's a lot everywhere. So it's really, really interesting to see like what's up. So just try it out. For any question, information, like in general, you can find us on Discord, and there is a wonderful community there. You can check the GitHub code, of course. Follow the Medium for articles and explanation, Twitter, and yeah, in general, just start building. So yeah, thanks everyone. So, any questions?
I do have a question. I noticed that you mentioned that IBC is important for Archway. I also think that the rewards module is like open source, and people have the details on how to use it. And I can see that Archway wants people to use IBC, and then the question is like, do you want other chains to adopt the same module? If so, like, how do you gain your competitive advantage?
That's a very good question. So I think when it comes to this, like it's going to happen in any case. So other chains will use similar model. Like there is no way, because people are starting now to realize, hey, there is no way I can monetize my smart contract. So why I'm putting all this money here if I cannot? So it's inevitable. So I think to answer your question, like the way that Archway is positioned is that like it's basically leading this whole new layer one breed, let's say. So it's when it comes to how to keep the competitive advantage, like there is a lot of work that is getting done on all the tooling and making sure that the ecosystem is very solid for developers to just chill into Archway, and like there is a lot of also advantage that has been taken just working on these two modules, and a lot of work that is getting done on expanding them. So like I think like in a lot of things, like still the first mover advantage, it's an advantage if you of course keep it as an advantage and you just don't lose time. But yeah, as I say, a lot of things are getting flushed out, so it's already a wonderful ecosystem. So yeah, like we really think that developers will see for the foreseeable future the way to go for deploying dApps on Archway. Yeah, but thanks for the question.
Is there an off-ramp for the Archway tokens? So if I get the reward, is there a DEX on Archway, or is it listed on other DEXs? Or?
So there's gonna be a DEX. I think more than one, but like there's gonna be Astrovault released in mainnet, which is actually very smart DEX. Like it's whole model. It's really interesting. So I'm not gonna get into the details now because it's quite complex, and I really suggest you to check it out because it has a lot of nuances. But you can see it really takes advantage of the engine, the value capture engine that Archway provides. So I can definitely see a lot of users like just enjoying the DEX and maybe at first not even knowing that it's powered by Archway, and that's how it works. So yeah, that's coming also. So thanks.
In terms of the current ecosystem landscape, what are like the major use cases that are being developed?
Yeah. So for example, like there is a lot of use cases for projects that find, depending on their project, a way to involve their community. So basically, it's like, hey, like if you do some specific interaction with the product, or if you get this NFT, do this kind of thing, then you get rewards and this kind of things. So the Astrovault, it's an amazing example, like the DEX itself. So there is also like several stuff regarding contributions, because it really makes it easier for not only developers but other folks like to contribute to common resources and gets rewarded for that. So because you can redirect the value of like, let's say your product is getting built and it's really easy to reward contributors, like just because rewards are getting accrued. So and to be honest, I'd like to see a lot of tooling getting built, because like if some teams get to the level of developing a good standard for whatever thing, then it's easier to conglomerate around a standard rather than just creating a different standard. Of course, like there can be fragmentation, like everybody can create its own similar thing, but that's a bit of friction. So that for me would be the golden use case now, because then you get some tooling out, and then everybody wants to use the tooling because it's the most solid, is the most lightweight or whatever. And then just because you create the tooling, then and you're supporting and stuff like this, then you get direct revenue from the usage of it. So that for me it's mind blowing in a sense, because we are not used to see it in Web3 yet. So that's quite a cool one. I also. Yeah, for example, and it depends on a lot of things, but like for sure I can definitely see specific niches for packages that would benefit a lot and would be able to improve their product even more. Of course, it doesn't apply to every product, right? But like there is a lot of room to play with. That's the cool thing. Like it's not just you get inflationary rewards or gas rebates. Like you can also set the flat fees. So it's really a lot in experimentation phase, like in the sense that sky is the limit here. So I think like we still don't see all the potential that can be accomplished, and we are just at the beginning. But it's normal. We are not even in mainnet, so but it's coming soon. So
your first users would be mainly developers themselves.
that's definitely a good start. Like that's definitely a good start, and so but also like for example, if some products gets way more reliable and they develop, because right now a lot of people maybe they create a project, then they get some funding, then they ditch it or whatever, they go to another thing and stuff like this. Well, this can really help developers to sustain their operation somehow, no, with different revenue streams. So like supporting developers, it's also a virtuous cycle, in the way that the more developers are supported, the more they are incentivized to build, the more, and then you take out a lot of dead leaves that we always saw in the Web3 ecosystem. So, but yeah, like we are targeting mostly developers, but just because like we see the value in developers being chill and creating cool stuff and just focus on the tech, and then all the rest just is a consequence of it, let's say. So yeah.
For the developers use premium contracts, then how is the validator going to be manage their business if they don't get rewards, and how is this impacting the inflationary system of Archway?
Okay. So
all the rewards go to developers in this case.
Yeah. No, in this case, when it comes to the inflationary rewards, it's just 25% to the app builder. So the rationale behind this is that, like, in general, in a proof of stake network, and depending, like, especially maybe the Cosmos SDK, like, you really don't, of course, you have operations to sustain economically wise, but it's not like you are mining or there is really a huge amount of computational power that gets into it. So the idea here is that, hey, like, what if instead of giving all the cake to validators, what if we give 25% of inflation also to developers? And in general, like, when it comes to the gas rebates, like, we don't see in Cosmos like a lot of transaction volumes all across the Cosmos ecosystem. So it's like, okay, let's see if this really makes way more usages because developers can build way more cooler dApps. And the smart contract premium is just, you can think it as a customizable fee layer, because it's something that the user or the smart contract pays for the contract execution. So it doesn't come neither from inflation, neither from rewards. So it's basically direct cost for the user. So, which resembles a bit this licensing model, no? That, yeah, you have a service, hey, okay, I build my own API or whatever. Okay, you want to use it? Yeah, okay, you pay this then. Then it's very predictable because it's a flat fee. So even you as a developer, like, you can really make some numbers, you know, like you can understand, hey, okay, I'm spending this for my infrastructure, but then I should maybe charge this in a premium. And then you can see, like, depending on, you know, how much the transaction fees are on the network, gas price, inflation, then the owner of the contract can set the contract metadata. So you can also change the owner. Also, the owner can be a smart contract. So you can also, you know, like, kind of get a DAO that should say, like, should we put the flat fee, you know, the premium, should we not do it? You can, I don't know, incentivize participation also. Yeah.
Is the premium on every use of the smart contract, or can you set it to just be like the first use, for example?
You can actually tailor it for specific executions. So even here, like, there is a lot that can be done, because you can just, depending on how it's used, you can set.
Can you mimic like an App Store app where you pay $5 for the first use and then it's free forever after that?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, cool.
Why not? Ah, sorry. All good? Any other question? I would, yeah.
Maybe one more. You mentioned tooling and how important it is. What's your favorite tooling to develop Cosmos contracts on Archway?
So when it comes to tooling, like, there is to deploy smart contracts, for example, like, it's the developer CLI makes it easier for sure, because it's the interesting thing is that because of this whole different way of managing gas, then you always need to ask for what's the gas price, and, like, there is, it's a bit sophisticated, the gas. So it's not, if maybe you're not using the developer CLI, you're using the Archway, then of course you need to just in the query you query the latest gas price or stuff like this. But it's the developer CLI just performs a lot of logic for yourself when it comes to this. So, and the more it gets expanded, then the more streamlined the thing is. So I would say if you're a developer, just look into the developer CLI. But also, yeah, Arch3.js is a way to go, and, like, Archway also always works. So yeah, and when it comes to instead of learning how to create smart contracts, then Area 52 is the thing. It's wonderful courses. I highly recommend it. So yeah, thank you.
Do you think that Archway will target or is targeting more the other dimensionless as Cosmos SDK blockchains, or do you also want to attract other completely different ecosystems?
So that's a good question, like, because there is there is a lot of things to do. So I'd say the plan here is to be the way to go chain for Cosmos developers to build the labs. And then once this is well established, then it's getting to other ecosystem like Ethereum. And
I was maybe asking because there next few meters next door there is another permissionless smart contract blockchain Neutron. There is Juno.
Yeah.
So it seems like the space is. Well, I'm just curious what's going to be the outcome of this because how many developers is actually developing.
We are curious too. To be honest, we are curious too, and that's the reason of the existence of Archway is this extreme abundance of layer ones that basically don't even allow you to monetize your dApps, and that's the whole proposition. So it's like, hey, hello, why are you struggling to deploy on that and just counting the cents or whatever if you have a baked-in economic model that rewards developers proportionally to the usage of their smart contract? It's a no-brainer, so it's we're completely focusing now on Cosmos dApps, but it's definitely a model that can be expanded across different ecosystems. So it's we're gonna definitely also iterate on it, but it's quite exciting, I have to say. Any more questions? All right, so I hope some of you will start build some dApps on Archway, and thank you for your time, everyone.